Is it worth it to undervolt your GPU and CPU? Well, today we're going to find out. So first we are going to be doing some gaming benchmarks, but it's essential that you know what are my PC specs. So, I have a GTX 1660 Super with 32 gigs of RAM and a Ryzen 5 3600, which make a kinda low-end PC, but that's going to be great for our purpose today, which is to see if we gain some performance by undervolting our component. So let's start with those benchmarks. So first, we're playing CS2 in the medium quality preset. We got around 140 to 160 FPS. And next up we have OG Fortnite. In the medium quality preset we saw from 100 to 110 FPS while in fights. In the benchmarking tool for Black Myth Wukong in the medium quality preset we got an average of 38 FPS. In Minecraft with Distant Horizons with an LOD chunk load of 256 chunks and complementary shaders in the medium quality preset we saw an average of 54 FPS. And finally we have 3D Monk TimeSpy in which we got an overall score of 5462. And after all that we can finally start with the undervolting. So let's start with the CPU, shall we? I started by opening Ryzen Master and increasing my core frequency to 4000, and after that I lowered my core voltage to 1.2. So those are the base settings for a Ryzen 5 3600 and 3600X. But in this case my CPU wasn't stable on 1.2 volts, so I had to increase it to 1.25 and then it was stable. So yeah, this is the base for my CPU. But if you want to tinker more with the settings, you can start increasing your core clocks by 100. But in this case, my CPU was only stable at these settings. So yeah, we aren't going to increase those more. Well, and now it's time for the GPU. So first we're going to open Heaven's benchmark and MSI Afterburner. So we're going to start a run, and after the run has started we're going to go to MSI Afterburner and go to Pure Editor. So first I'm going to lower our core clock to -200, and then we're going to grab the 925 point and move it up until 1920, and then we are done. This is the base for undervolting a GTX 1660 Super or 1660. And then, if you want to gain more performance, you can start increasing the memory clock by 100 until the game crashes or looks unstable. 1300 and the game is still... no, there's some flickering. As you can see, now I have to start going back until this flickering stops. Now that we are 100 MHz lower, we're going to keep seeing the benchmark for any anomalies. And now it looks pretty stable at 1100 MHz. So I'm going to start increasing it by 10. And this process is going to take a while. Now we are at 1150 and it still looks pretty stable. So I'm going to leave it right here. So we are done with the benchmark and we must start playing some games, and if it crashes we're going to go back to this benchmark and do the process all over again. And after some testing the PC was finally stable. So now let's run those benchmarks and let's see how it's our performance after the undervolting. In CS2 with the medium quality preset we got around 150 to 170 FPS. In Fortnite with the medium quality preset we saw around 120 to 130 FPS while in battles. In the benchmarking tool for Black Myth Wukong with the medium quality preset we saw an average of 43 FPS. In Minecraft with the same settings and mods as before we got an average of 61 FPS. And finally, in 3D Mark TimeSpy we got an overall score of 5735. And now let's do a little recap. In CS2 with stock settings we got 140 up to 160 FPS, and after the Undervolt we got 150 up to 170 FPS. And Fortnite followed up with the same story, which began at 100 up to 110 FPS, and after the Undervolt went from 120 up to 130. In Black Myth Wukong, we began with an average of 38 FPS, and after the Undervolt we got an average of 43 FPS. And continuing with the improvements in Minecraft, we began with an average of 54 FPS, and after the Undervolt we got an average of 61 FPS. And last but not least, in 3D Mark x5 we started with a score of 5,462 points, and after the Undervolt we got 5,735 points. So, is it worth it to undervolt your GPU and CPU? Well, as you can see, it is! Because you get more performance on your PC, and by the way, you also get lower temps, so your components will last longer. So that's all for today. If you liked the video, remember to give a like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye!